Okay, today we are in week 2. Can you already believe we're in week 2 in our making meaning lessons? So today we're going to review some words that we taught. Do you remember the words when we were doing the Kevin Hinkey's author series and we read all those books? We read Fearless. Who knows what fearless is? Fearless. Lila.
It's when you're not scared of a single thing.
Fearless, not scared. Good job. Fearful.
It means you're scared.
Scared, full of fear. Yes, baby.
Scared of everything.
Scared. Yes. Familiar. What does familiar mean? Serenity.
Like somebody recognize you.
Something you recognize, something that looks familiar, meaning you think you've seen them before. Yes? Yeah. So, like, if you have been to McDonald's several times, is that familiar with you?
Yeah.
If you go to a new restaurant and you've never been, is that familiar?
No.
If you start a brand new school, is that familiar?
No.
Convince. What does convince mean? Grayson.
That like someone like convinced like makes you do it.
Good job. Tries to talk you into doing something. Yes. I see Michaela going, you took my answer again. Absolutely. We're going to review compassionate. Compassionate. What do you think I mean, Luke, when I say, oh, she's so compassionate? Well, she could be pretty, but compassionate. Sutton. Okay, could be, but compassionate is like, oh, she's so sweet. Compassionate. She is kind. So kind to a person or an animal who's suffering or unhappy. So a lot of you are so compassionate. When we have a friend come in and they're super sad and they're missing their parents and they're crying, we're really good about coming in and going, it's okay, you can sit by me. That's being compassionate, being a good person, a good friend. Content. When I say content, what do you think that means? Content. Briley? I said it wrong. Content. Sorry. Content. Content. Serenity is so content because she's going on vacation. Happy. Content. And that is a good example of why we read, when we read our page, that we kind of think about what is going on in that story. So when I said that, you knew exactly. Content, happy with what is happening. What is she do? What she's doing, where she's going. Content. Swirl, swirl. Lila.
Like to spin around or swirl your finger.
Spin around, move in a circle, twirl. Tumble. Michaela.
It means you fall down.
Fall over and over, tumble. That was just a review of some of our words. Yeah. Okay. Today we are going to learn what turn to your partner means. Turn to your partner. So everyone's partner is going to be right beside them. So you two, you two, you two, you two, you two, just the person right beside you, okay? Turn around, Sean. Turn around, Johnny. In our reading community today, we will often ask you guys to talk to each other. You can turn and look at me right now. We're not ready. I'm just trying to get you prepared. I'm going to randomly just sign partners. And when the class gathers, you would sit next to your partner facing each other and when I gather the class, but I'm just going to get you ready because this is just the beginning and we might have some friends join us, so your partners are going to change once everyone's sitting at the floor. So sometimes I'm going to say turn to your partner, and when you hear that, you're going to turn around, face your partner, and talk about the questions. So let's just practice real quick. Turn to your partner. You're with him. Riley, you're with him. Sutton, you're with her. Okay. Michaela, you can be with another group or whoever's sitting beside you. Like if Collins comes to the floor, it'll switch a little bit. Or maybe you can just be with me or somebody. Okay?
What about
Yeah,
Kayla?
you could be in a group of 3. Yeah, you can be with a partner, Cassandra. So let me just say, if I said, if you could have an animal as a pet, what animal would you have? Turn to your partner and talk one at a time. Class. Did everyone have a chance to share?
Yes.
Perfect. You know what? I saw a lot of good things. I heard one loud laugh that wasn't necessary, but other than that, everyone else was doing a really good job. And the reason why I said that wasn't necessary is because we hadn't even started the question and someone just laughed out loud. Luke, that's your water bottle. Now I'm going to introduce our story today. Sheila Ray the Brave. I'm going to read it out loud so you all can look at me. Sheila Ray the Brave by Kevin Hinks. Sheila Ray wasn't afraid of anything. She wasn't afraid of the dark. She wasn't afraid of thunder and lightning. And she wasn't afraid of the big black dog at the end of the block. At dinner, Sheila Ray made believe that the cherries in her fruit cocktail were the eyes of dead bears, and she ate 5 of them.
Ew.
At school, Sheila Ray giggled when the principal walked by, and when her classmate Wendell stole her jump rope during recess, Sheila Ray tied him up until the bell rang. "I'm very brave," Sheila Ray said, patting herself on the back. Sheila Ray stepped on every crack in the sidewalk without fear. When her sister Louise said there was a monster in the closet, Sheila Ray attacked it. And she rode her bicycle, no-handed, with her eyes closed. "Yay, yay, Sheila Ray," her friends yelled, clapping their hands. And one day, Sheila Ray decided to walk home from school a new way. Louise was afraid too. "You're too brave for me, Louise. You're always such a scaredy cat," Sheila Ray called. "Am not," whispered Louise. Sheila Ray started off skipping. "I am brave," she sang. "I am fearless." She stepped on every crack. She walked backwards with her eyes closed. She growled at stray dogs and bared her teeth at stray cats. And she pretended that the trees were evil creatures. She climbed up them and broke their fingers off. Snap, snap, snap. Sheila Ray walked and walked. She turned corners. She crossed streets. It suddenly occurred to Sheila Ray, nothing looked familiar. Sheila Ray heard frightening noises. They sounded worse than thunder. She thought horrible thoughts. They were worse than anything she had ever imagined. "I am brave," Sheila Ray tried to convince herself. "I am fearless." The sounds became more frightening. The thoughts became more horrible. Sheila Ray sat down on a rock and cried, Help, she sniffed. She thought of her mother and her father and Louise. Mother, father, Louise, she cried. Here I am, a voice said. Louise. Sheila Ray hugged her sister. We're lost, Sheila Ray said. No, we're not, said Louise. I know my way home. Follow me. Louise stepped on every crack. She walked backwards with her eyes closed. She growled at stray dogs and bared her teeth at stray cats. She pretended the trees were evil creatures. She jumped up and broke their fingers off. Snap, snap, snap. Sheila Ray walked quietly behind her. They walked and walked. They crossed streets. They turned corners. Soon their house could be seen between the trees. Sheila Ray grabbed Louise and dashed up the street. When they reached their own yard and the gate was closed behind them, Sheila Ray said, Louise, you're brave. You're fearless. We both are, said Louise. And they walked backwards into the house with their eyes closed. So, what happened in the story? Who can tell me what happened in the story? Can you turn to your partner real quick and just talk about what happened in the story? When you're done, please turn around and look at me when you're done sharing. Okay, boys and girls, are we all done? Okay, turn and look at me. How did we do with turning and talking to our partners today? Who can share? What went right? Grayson. Everything. You can turn it off.